Well, that's not even spelled integers. What is an integer? Integers. We have added and subtracted integers, and today we look at the by far easier process of multiplying and dividing now. For dividing. The unfortunate thing is people get adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing mixed up. And here is the simple rule that you have to follow when you multiply or divide. It's the same rule. If you have an even number of negative signs, or negatives, comma, your answer will be positive. If an odd number of negatives, comma, your answer will be negative. Kind of like using a double negative in English, which is frowned upon, makes it the opposite. That's the same in math. Okay? If you multiply two negative numbers times themselves, an even number of negatives gives you a positive answer. You don't have to put a plus there, but we'll plus it just to emphasize it. Now please understand that is different than if you add them. Here, let's do an adding one. If I add a negative 8 plus a negative 5, what do I get if I add a negative 8 plus a negative 5? Parker?
Negative 13.
Negative 13. When you add two negatives together, you get a bigger negative than you started with. But when you multiply two negatives together, you get a positive number. Now, if I multiply this, let's say negative 6 times negative 2 times negative 4. The first thing, Tyler, you should do is look at, see, I'm multiplying these three. This is a one big multiplication problem. How many negatives do you see in that problem? 3. There's an odd number of negatives, so right away I would put down my negative sign because my answer has to be negative. Then you just multiply like normal. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 times 4 is 48. Okay? Or if you have this, negative, 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 negative 5. How many negatives do you see in front of that 5? Everybody count the same number I do? How many negatives? Carteret?
6.
Which is an even number of negatives, which means my answer is going to be
Positive.
+5. Now, why does that really work? Well, simply because this. If you did it all out step by step, let's say I have a -1 times a -3 times a -4 times a -5. By the way, those parentheses are important because that changes it into multiplication. If you did it step by step, first of all, I know my answer should be what? Negative or positive. It's going to be positive, but why is that? Well, because it works like this. A negative times a negative, -1 times -3 is a +3. And then this +3 times a -4 gives you a -12 because it changes its sign, one negative. And then a -12 times a -5 gives you that +60 that we got at the end. The same thing is true for division. Okay, if you have a -18 over 6, Is my answer going to be negative or positive?
Negative.
Why is it negative? Because there's just an odd number of negative signs. You get negative 3. What about this? Negative 18 over negative 6 with a negative in front of it. How many negatives? Which means my answer is going to be negative. And don't let subtraction fool you. A subtraction is a negative sign. Okay, they're really one and the same. Let me see what the book gives you for problems here. 10 over negative 5. What is your answer to 10 over negative 5? Abram?
Positive 2.
Nope. How many negatives? 1. 1 is an odd number. 1 negative is odd. 1 negative is negative. If it was a negative 10 over negative 5, your answer would be positive 2. If it was a minus in front of a negative 10 over negative 5, your answer would be negative 2. There's 3 negatives. Odd number gives you a negative answer. Now they throw some tougher stuff in here like this. Let's see. Write down this problem. 6x squared y in parentheses times negative 2xyz. When you see this, first of all, it is multiplication. That's not addition or subtraction. 2 parentheses next to each other means multiplication. The first thing you say is your answer going to be negative or positive, Amelia?
Going to be negative.
1 negative makes it negative. And then you just do the same thing you always do. Multiply your numbers together. 6 times 2 is 12. What's x squared times x?
X.
X times x times x is x to the 3rd power. What's y times y?
Y squared.
Y squared. And you just have one z that doesn't have anything else to match up with. So this is the answer to that lovely problem there. How about this one? 6x squared y over negative 2xyz. All those crazy noises. First thing you ask yourself, is your answer going to be positive or negative?
Negative.
1 negative makes it negative. 2 goes into 6 3 times. What do I get for my x's? Nope. There's 2 x's on top, 1 x on bottom. This one crosses off with one of those, so you're left with just an x. You've got a y here and a y there, so what happens?
They die.
They all cross off. Z doesn't have anything on top, so it just stays on the bottom as a z. On top you have the 3x. We said it was going to be negative because of the negative, and there is your answer. How about one last thing? How about this? What if you were given a negative 1 to the 5th power? Which means you have negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1. How many negatives is that? So is your answer going to be positive or negative? And what is 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1? 1. Or what about negative 2 to the 2nd power? What would your answer be? Grant?
Positive 4.
Positive 4. Because this is a negative 2 times a negative 2. 2 negatives make a positive.